Can relationship coaching save my relationship? For many couples, the idea of getting help is somewhat daunting. We've all seen movies of couples therapy, and it often looks downright uncomfortable and difficult. A lot of the traditional couples therapy also focuses a lot on the past, exploring issues of family of origin and some reasons that you might be struggling with intimacy or space. One thing that has become more popular in recent years is relationship coaching. This is distinct from counselling as it doesn't really look back to the past for answers. It's a lot more solution focused and based on the idea of behaviour change. Relationship coaching is definitely not right for a couple who's working through trauma or serious mental health issues. That requires a specialist therapist. But it can be really useful for addressing issues that are happening within the relationship. Things like communication, trust, parenting, stress, or types of addictive behaviours. So how is relationship coaching different to therapy? It's really helpful to distinguish between the two since they're two very different things. Relationship therapy makes the assumption that there's actually a problem to diagnose. It's a healing profession that treats mental, emotional, and psychological disorders. Coaching, in comparison, makes the assumption that a person is fully functional and capable of success. It works with them to set goals and move forward. Both these approaches can be really helpful, and some people use coaching actually after they've had relationship therapy as a way to keep growing and getting the very most out of their lives and relationships. So how exactly does relationship coaching work? And how can it help people to address relationship issues? Here are some things that might help you decide whether it's for you. Firstly, aligning expectations. For many of us, we will have expectations about our relationships that we may not even be aware of ourselves. There might be things that we've decided based on seeing our parents' relationships or from previous partners that we've had. For example, the expectation that a partner will do a certain share of housework or be available at certain times to contribute to the relationship in a certain way. If your expectations are irrational and unrealistic, you're likely to be disappointed and frustrated, and sometimes behave in a way that might lead to separation. Most happy relationships have an alignment of values, needs, and desire. When a couple are in a bad place in their relationship, they can find it hard to talk about this kind of thing and actually negotiate what their needs are. Coaching helps make this clear for them and gives them a framework to have that conversation in a calm and productive way. Secondly, constant reminders. Even though we can tend to focus on big events and occurrences in our lives, in reality, our existence is made up of the day-to-day, and this is really where a relationship lives or dies. Making huge gestures on important days is all well and good, but also the small things such as making your partner coffee, doing something nice for them at the end of the long day, having a difficult conversation that needs to happen and actually coming through it okay. This is where true connection and intimacy are formed. Coaching helps give practical advice about how to make the day-to-day better in a relationship and remain aware of the promises that you've made to each other, as well as just keep working on the relationship itself. Often it's about getting into good habits and making sure there's time each day or week to connect, no matter what's going on. And this often involves some behaviour change on your part, which is where the coach can come in. Thirdly, improving overall functioning. Often relationships can suffer when we're under stress in the other areas of our lives, such as financial, parenting, work or health. One of the big strengths of a coaching approach is that it's strengths-based, solution-based, and helps people find solutions to things that are holding them back in their lives. A relationship coach helps people to make individual changes in their lives that will ultimately help them to be better partners and better functioning people all round. One way to think of a relationship coach is kind of as a professional friend. They're alongside you both during the journey and are there to work with you to identify the situation, make plans and goals for the future, figuring out how to handle obstacles and setbacks, how to establish positive thinking, and how to motivate both people to keep changing in the right direction. I'll leave you with a great quote from John Fisher that sums up a lot of what relationship coaching is about. The success of marriage comes not in finding the right person, but in the ability of both partners to adjust to the real person they inevitably realise that they married.